And we're going to go ahead and get started on the floor routine. So you're going to lay down on your back, feet shoulder width apart, head on the floor here. Get your back all nice and comfy. And then when you're ready, you're going to get your 3 fingers, going to tighten the abdominals, and you're going to start poking around the belly. So poke, poke, poke. And what you're trying to do is you're trying to resist the fingers getting too hard into your belly. You have the transverse abdominis. The whole point of it is to create a strength that wraps around your abdomen like a girdle. So the idea is the harder you tap on the belly, the stronger that transverse abdominis will get. Of course, with other exercises also. So this is a multifaceted way to get it going. You're going to have your hands down to your side. We're going to get ready to start getting into the pelvic tilts. So we're going to tighten the abs. We're going to squeeze the butt, tight, 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 and relax. Squeeze the butt, tight, 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 and relax. So you're really squeezing rectum, private area, urethra, hold, 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 and relax. You're going to squeeze rectum, private area, urethra, hold, 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 and relax. One more, rectum, private area, urethra, hold, 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 and relax. One more, rectum, private area, urethra, hold, 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 and relax. Okay, we're going to go ahead and we're going to get ready to get into bridges. So if you've been doing this for a while, you're going to put weights on the sides of your hip. If you have not done this before, or you have a bad back, or you're not sure how to do this, you're going to tighten the abdominals, tighten the pelvic floor, squeeze your butt, push through the heels, and lift your butt up off the ground in one motion, and then coming back down. You're going to tighten the abs, tighten the butt, push through the heels, and come on down. And just keep going. Tight abs, tight butt, lift, and come down. Tight abs, tight butt, push through the heels, lift, and come down. Tight abs, tight butt, push through the heels, squeeze, and come on down. Tight abs, tight butt, push through the heels, squeeze the butt, and come on down. Tight abs, tight butt, push through the heels, squeeze, come on down. You have 5 seconds to go. Keep going. Tight abs, tight butt, and come on down here. Set those weights down to the side. We're going to use them in a little bit, but not right now. Right now, we're going to get ready to hug your right knee, straighten your left leg, toes to the ceiling. Relax the neck and shoulders. Have both feet facing the ceiling, because we want the thighs and the knees all aligned in the right way where gravity's pulling us correctly. And we're just stretching out the right leg with the knee and the hip, and the left leg with the hip flexor and the calf hamstrings, and then our pelvic floor is getting stretched also. So getting 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and release that tension. Nice tight abdominals, and bringing in the left knee, and then straightening the right leg, and toes to the ceiling. Relax the neck and shoulders. And just breathe through it, and pulling the knee to the chest, not towards the armpit. You want it nice and lined up in your hip socket. You want that hip, knee, and ankle all aligned with each other. And just feel the nice stretch. We want to make sure that we can get that knee further than our hip. That's how we keep our hip flexible, one of the many ways. And bring that leg down. We're going to get ready to get into torso stabilizer. So we're going to bring up the right leg to the ceiling, left arm to the ceiling, tuck your shoulders down, nice tight abs. And then you're going to bring your arm and leg about 30 to 45 degrees away from you, without the other knee counterbalancing you, and bringing it back. So you're going to go away from the torso and back over the limb, over the joints, back away from the torso, and then align yourself with the joints. Don't try to come back to the center of your torso. You're going to just go out and back in. I'll just show a different view. Going away without counterbalancing the other knee, and just go out a little bit and back over the joint. We're trying just to hold our torso nice and still with using the obliques and using those hip flexors, utilizing your inner thighs. Go ahead, bring down that leg. Other one comes up. You're going to bring the left leg up, right arm up to the ceiling, tucking shoulders, nice tight abs, going away from the torso and back over the joints. Going away from the torso without twisting the spine, without twisting the hips. Relax the neck, relax the shoulders. Don't counterbalance with the other knee. Just breathe through this. Really tightening the abs, train the core how to hold your torso nice and still. You have 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, go ahead and bring that leg down. And we're going to go ahead and move on to marches. You have 2 levels. Level 1, hands flat on the floor, belly button and spine to the floor. And then you're going to march the knees 90 degrees towards your chest, march the knee towards your chest. This is level 1. And this is perfectly fine, but you got to keep the belly button and the spine pushing towards the floor. Level 2, knees are over the hips, feet are flexed, spine to the floor, and push your knee to the chest, one knee to the chest, and the other heel taps the floor. And then you switch and you switch. So ready? Here we go. Nice tight abs, really pushing that belly button down. Now, one of the things you're going to notice, it's really hard to breathe during this time. And that's because your diaphragm is kind of locked in with that transverse abdominis, the one we've been focusing on. What we want to do is keeping that belly button pushing towards the floor and the back pushing towards the floor. Keep breathing, and it forces the diaphragm to become strong and resist that transverse abdominis locking it down. You can just keep your shoulders relaxed, keep breathing, keep the spine towards the floor. Ready? And come on down. Whew, you should feel that all in your abdomen and in your hip flexors. We're going to go ahead and we're going to get ready for going into hamstring stretch. So I skipped a stretch. We're going into the hamstring stretch with the torso stabilizer. So putting the right foot in the strap, straightening the leg. And then the idea is flexing the foot. So straighten the leg first and then start to pull until you feel the stretch. So you're just relaxing the neck and shoulder, and the second the knee wants to bend, you've got to lower the leg until the leg is straight. It's really important that we get the back of the knee nice and straight there first, and then train upward in the back side to straighten out. Because right now your back is nice and straight, so the hip is nice and folded. So we want to get the right tendons stretching at the right places. You have 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice tight abdominals, bringing the left foot inside the strap, removing the right foot, lower the leg and straighten, and then start to pull. Nice tight abs, not abs, they're engaged, right? They're not just loose. And relaxing the neck and shoulder. And just visualize that leg being nice and straight. Yeah, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come on down. And We're going to go ahead and we're going to do the figure 4 stretch. So we're going to put the right ankle, left knee, right ankle, left knee. If that's all you can do, just do that. If not, you're going to push that right knee away from you without moving your spine. If that's all you can do, you're going to tighten your abs and interlace both your hands behind your left thigh, straighten the leg and flex the foot. Don't point, flex it and just hold it right there. And then just relax those shoulders and that neck and just hold the stretch. Again, we're stretching out the right leg. I will continue. We're stretching out the right leg with the hip and then the left with the hamstring again. You have 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and come on down. Nice tight abdominals. We're going to put the left ankle, right knee. If that's all you can do, you're going to stay there. If you can push your knee away from you without your hips moving, hold it there. If that feels easy and you're ready for the next step, you're going to bring the right leg up, interlace your fingers behind the thigh, straighten the leg, and flex the foot. Just relax those shoulders. And you're just trying to straighten the leg on your own with that foot nice and flexed. And the more closer you can get it, the deeper you feel it in the hip and in the side hip on the other leg. And it's tempting to want to move the ankles and the toes, but we really want to keep it nice and flexed. You have 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come on down. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to move on to the ball twist. So you're going to go ahead and grab yourself a ball. And we're going to level 1. We have our feet together. We're going to put the ball between our knees. And we're going to let the abs tip to the side, tighten the abdominals, the opposite abdominal, and pull the knee back to the center. You're going to let gravity tip you to the side just a little bit, tighten the opposite abdominal, and use it to pull you back to center. You know you're doing it right when you are pausing in the center. If you're just going back and forth, your lower back is taking over, and we don't want that to happen. We want these side obliques to take over this exercise. So we know if we just go just a tiny bit, because our obliques don't go more than 30 degrees, we use the opposite abdominal to contract it back up. Well, there'll always be a pause in the center. So level 2 is near the same. Knees, the ball is over the hip, must stay the same. Feet are flexed. And here we go. We're going to drop to the side just a little bit, tighten the oblique, and come to the center. Tighten the abs, not tighten the abs, let gravity tip you to the side. Tighten the opposite oblique and come to the center. Let gravity tip you just a little. Tighten the abs, come to the center. It's very tempting to sit and go, well, if I can go a little, I can go all the way. No, 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 because that's all in the vertebrae and in the back. This way, we're all in the abdomen, and that's where we want to stay. We want the abdominals to control the spinal cord. You have 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and come to the center and remove that ball. Okay, so next we're going to get into going into the spine twist. So arms straight out, palms to the ceiling, tucking shoulders. You're going to drop your knees to the right and turn your head to the left, only as far as your torso can handle. And if your neck says it doesn't want to turn, you don't have to turn your head. You can keep your head straight forward, but just keep your shoulders away from your neck and just go as far as your back can handle. This is all about what your back can do. Your hips will feel it, your chest will feel it, even your arms might feel it. You're going to tighten your abdominal, bring your head forward, bring the knees forward, readjust your back, and then we're going to get ready and drop to the left side. And then when you're ready, if you want, you can turn your head to the right. And this is just twisting our spinal cord in a nice, safe manner. That's why we only go as low as we can. Some people will be able to only move 2 inches away. Some people can go all the way with both knees on the floor, I guess one knee, the other on top of it. But you only do what your back can handle. Don't worry about what anyone else is doing or what, I mean, yeah, just do what your body can handle. Nice tight abdominals. Bring your head forward. Bring your torso, bring your knees up to the center again. And we're going to get ready to move on to crunches. So feet flat on the floor, shoulder width away. If your doctor has said you have osteoporosis and said no more crunches for you, then you're going to keep your head on the floor. You can keep your hands on your chest. You can even put your hands on your abdomen if you want to feel it working. As what you're going to do is you're going to push your spine, not your spine. You're going to push your belly button to your spine, contract it, and release. Push the belly button to the spine, contract, and release. And you're just going to go back and forth where you almost feel like a part of your rib cage is pushing towards your hips and back down. And that's all you're going to do, trying to feel the abdomen contract and release. Everyone else, they're going to put your hands behind your head. You're going to act as if you have a grapefruit between your chin and your chest. You're going to tighten your abs. And you're going to pull from your abdomen, the rib cage towards your hips. And the illusion is your head is lifting off the ground, but your neck is not doing the lifting. Your neck is staying neutral, and it's the abdomen rounding the rib cage forward. And therefore, your head's coming off the ground. So you want all the effort in the abdomen, not in the neck. Okay, so ready? Here we go. Hands behind the head and contract the abdomen and set it on down. Contract the abdomen and set it on down. And you just want to exhale on the way up, inhale on the way down. Exhale on the way up, inhale on the way down. You want to make sure like that pelvic floor is also somewhat engaged here. It's not a pelvic squeeze per se, but you should be able to sit and go, can I relax my rectum? I can. Perfect. That means you're in that nice pelvic space, and your hip has the stability to help pull that muscle down. You have 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, we're going to go ahead and we're going to get ready for reverse crunches. We're going to put putting our hands up to the ceiling, both legs up to the ceiling, palms are facing the shins. Tuck your shoulders down, and then you're going to flex the feet. And you're going to bring your shins to your hands, but not your hands to your shins. So your arms are perfectly straight. And you're going to just pull those shins nice and in. And just pull them in. You're using your lower abdomen here. And this is stuff that we would use if we were climbing trees regularly or stepping up really big steps. Think the desolation, the wilderness desolation, how they have those big rock steps you have to climb up. That's when you'll be feeling this. But man, coming down, I think, is harder. Keep going. And make sure you're breathing. You have 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then come on down. And we're going to stretch our legs out. Arms overhead, palms facing each other, but arms are not touching each other. Just relax those shoulders. And we're just letting gravity do its thing by stretching us out. Just by stretching here, gravity is pulling all of our joints into alignment. We don't have to do anything. We just have to let gravity do what it does. You have 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, we're going to go ahead and we're going to go into the portions with our weights. So you're going to go ahead and grab any light weights. If you've been doing this for a while and you know that I haven't been correcting you, you're welcome to get heavier weights. the idea of this exercise is not just to do chest, triceps, and serratus anterior muscles. It's to do those muscles while holding the shoulder blades in place. So really it's practicing how to lock down the shoulder blades to let the ball and socket of the shoulder, the rotator cuff area, to work correctly so that we're not up in our neck and grinding our rotator cuff, getting arthritis and shoulder problems. So we have our feet shoulder width apart. First one's going to be chest press. We have the weights in our hands, tucking our shoulders. We're going to raise our arms up over the chest, not over the neck, over the chest. So think of it as if you were standing at a tall countertop that's chest height, and you're going to have your weights at that chest height, not the shoulders, not the neck, over the chest. And then you're going to make it a nice, large, long, wide pizza rolling pin. You're going to tuck the shoulders towards the hips, squeeze the shoulder blades into the mat as if you're trying to bite the mat with the sideways of your shoulders towards your spinal cord. You're going to lower the weights until your elbows hit the floor. And when they're at the floor, you want to make sure your wrist is over your elbows. If you notice that your wrist is leaning in towards your chest, you're not taking advantage of gravity and physics the right way. So you want to get it over, keep the wrist over the elbows, tuck those shoulders, and then push straight back up again over the chest, right? Don't go straight up over the neck, go straight up over the chest. So we're going to go ahead and we're going here. So if you're looking from a different direction, you're tucking the shoulders and you're going straight up, parallel arms, tucking shoulders on the way down, elbows land on the ground with the wrist over the elbows. I keep my shoulders tucked again, straight up, parallel arms, and then I come down, elbows over elbows, tuck shoulders. Is what you'll notice doing the whole range of motion is my wrist stays over the elbows the whole time. And as what I'm doing is I'm moving from my shoulders, the ball and socket, but I'm using my chest to squeeze the motion, and I'm using my shoulder blades to lock in the stability of my shoulders. You have 3, 2, 1, and come on down there. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to get ready for triceps. So triceps are just as fun because you got to lock down that shoulder blade. So we're going to tuck down the shoulder blades, bring our arms straight up over the shoulder joint, tuck those shoulders like the shoulder is like sideways, just trying to bite the bit. It's called bite the bench, but you're trying to bite the mat with those blades towards your spinal cord. Your weight, your wrist, your elbow, your shoulders are all lined up. And then you're going to bring the weights down to the side of your face. And once they're down to the side of the face, your elbow should be pointed up to the ceiling. And that elbow is still over the shoulder. You're going to tuck the shoulder blades and then bring the wrist over the elbows again. So tucking shoulders, bringing the weight to the side of the face, really locking in my shoulder blades and raising the weights back over. That way, everything lines up with gravity. So tucking shoulders, and then just check yourself every single time you come down. Are your elbows facing the ceiling, and are they parallel, or are they facing the crown molding and they're all flared out? A healthy shoulder blade is going to be able to have them. Let's see if I can find myself tucked in and nice and parallel. And this is your shoulder blades locking in nice and safely, making the tricep nice and isolated, getting strong, but so is your back. You have 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and bring down those weights. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to get ready for the single arm. Hold on, my weight fell away. Okay. So next we're going to get ready single weights. We're going to get ready for the serratus anterior. You have a muscle that attaches to the side of your shoulder blade. and into your rib cage here, and it's in charge of this chopping motion. And so we want to take advantage of that, because when that muscle is strong, this front is nice and stable. So we're going to go ahead and grab one weight. We're going to hold the sides of the bell of the dumbbell. This is the handle, these are the bells. We're going to have your palms face each other. You're keeping your weight over the chest, tucking shoulders towards the hips, push towards the floor, lock out the elbows. Super important that the elbows stay locked out. And then you're going to go only as far as your rotator cuff allows you. Some people can go all the way to the floor. Some people can barely go over their head. Keep the elbow straight. If you start bending your elbows, you're out of the area where the serratus anterior will engage. It's got to be nice and straight. You're going to shove those shoulder blades to the hips and into the floor. Visualize leading with your elbow, coming back over your chest again. Tuck shoulders, going overhead, elbows lock, go as far as you can handle, tuck shoulder blades, and come on down. Tuck shoulder blades, coming down, and then you really just want to feel when you shove the shoulder blades towards the hips and into the floor, that this muscle here engages. It's right, your armpit muscle on the side of your chest here. You when done correctly, you will feel it engage every single time. And you just want to make sure those elbows are straight and that you are engaging the armpit muscle here. Tucking shoulders. Relax the neck, because it wants to hike up on the way down, and it really wants to hike up on the way up. You have 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and bring it on down. And you can roll those shoulders out if you got it. Otherwise, you should feel that your shoulder blades in between are burnt out. Okay, everybody doing okay? I don't see thumbs, so hopefully we're doing okay. Oh, I see a thumb. Yay. Okay. Okay, so let's go ahead and we're going to turn you on to your, are we doing that? Yeah, we're going to go ahead and turn on to our belly here. And we're going to bring our feet, so we have our feet on the floor, and we're going to lay our chest on the floor, and we're going to stretch out those arms that we just did. We're going to lay our forehead on the ground, arms overhead, thumb to the ceiling. We're just going to stretch all that out. This is just stretching everything, the crunches of the chest, the triceps, the serratus anterior. So we're just kind of getting all of that done. We have 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so we're going to bring our elbows under our shoulders here. And what we want to do is have our big toe together and our heels pulled apart. So big toes together, heels turned apart. And we want the shoulders under the elbow. And we want the wrist and the elbow lined up with each other, flat on the floor. And we're going to we're going to have our face facing to the floor. And then we're going to tuck shoulders towards the hips with everything nice and done here. Now, this is very important that you don't turn your neck right now. So now you're looking down at the floor. You're going to feel this nice big stretch in your lower back, and that's what we want. If you know you have back issues, this is a great one, but you only do what feels comfortable. If you have to lower it down a little bit, you're welcome to lower it down, or just bring it up to the points where you feel that nice comfortable stretch until you can get the elbows under there. Now, if you want to take it up a notch, all we're going to do here is, without turning your head, we're going to just pull the chin up to face the wall, and that's it. Do not turn the head. It's really important that you keep the head forward and don't turn when your face is up right here. Your spine is nice and stretched out, so we don't want to move anything. So stay right here. If you have to turn, you must lower your head first. So we're just going to hold it here. This is called the half cobra or the sphinx. And this is great for a nice stretch in your lower back and your hip flexors. You have 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lower the head and lower the body. We're going to go ahead. If we need to, we're going to grab a strap. And then you're going to put it, you don't have to if you can already do it, but you're going to grab your foot and we're going to do quad stretch here. But if you need a strap, you will get a strap. You'll wrap it around your ankle and then pull the knee, pull the heel towards your butt, lining up your heel, your knee, and your butt. So giving you 5 seconds to get that done, and then we'll start the official stretching. Okay, so nice. This is a quad stretch. It is stretching out your quads and your hip flexor because you're on the floor doing it. Your hip flexor has to be already straight. And this then means the quad, which is 4 muscles in your thigh, and the hip flexor, they're all engaged of stretching. And what this does is it just helps you to stand up better, and it helps you to walk better, so that there's that moment when we walk, we need that leg behind us, and it allows it to be flexible enough to do that. Okay, so now you're going to bring that leg down, and we're going to go to the other leg. So if you can just grab it with your hand, that's fine. If not, you're going to grab a strap and then go to the other leg and then pull on the ankle there and then pull the ankle to the butt and hold it there. And this should feel nice and stretchy. It should not feel painful. So if it is, you might need a strap and then go a little bit farther until this gets easier and easier. I am not into torture exercise, and pain is gain. Everything is, if you're consistent and you just slowly progress, your body will progress correctly with you. So we don't want to tear things in the process of lengthening things. So more is not always better. You have 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release that tension there. Okay, we're going to get up onto our hands and knees now. Okay, onto our hands and knees. We're going to be working on doing the donkey kick and the over the rainbow and the fire hydrant. Okay, so you want your shoulders over your wrist. Unless your wrist hurt too much, then you want your shoulders over your elbows. You're going to have your hip over your knees. Your shoulders are tucked back, and your back is nice and flat. You're going to shift the weight to your left leg, to the left knee. You're going to bring up the right heel to the ceiling and flex it. And then you're going to bring down the leg just a little bit and then kick it up. Now what you're doing, you're dropping the hip, you're making your hip nice and flat, square to the floor, and you're using your butt and your hamstrings to lift it up. We're not rocking our back and we're not tipping to the side to make this happen. We're keeping the hip square. We're keeping the back perfectly stable. So stable, if we had a hot glass of tea, it would not spill. And it would have to be filled to the brim. Keeping the shoulders tucked down, abs are tight. You have 3, 2, 1. Bring that knee down. Shift your weight to the right knee. Bring the left heel to the ceiling. Drop the hip. Tighten the abs. Tuck the shoulders. And flex the foot and start kicking. really tight abs. Keep that hip nice and square. It's so tempting to turn to the side and make your back do everything. You got to have your abs tight and push through the heels. Keep going and breathing. You have 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And come on down. You're going to sit your butt into the child pose. So you're trying to get your butt towards your heels and then stretching your arms out and coming down your forehead to the ground. Only do the level that you can handle. If your head can't come all the way down, that's okay. Just work on getting the hips towards the heels because we want that nice fold there so that we can have flexible and working hips. And come on up. And now we're going to get ready for the over the rainbow. We're going to tuck the shoulders away from our neck, flatten our back, tighten the abs, and we're going to shift the weight to the left knee. We're going to straighten the right leg, drop that hip. We're going to pretend, or we're not going to pretend, we're going to do it. We're going to have your right leg, flexed foot, tap to the corner of the mat, tighten the abs without swinging the back. You're going to use the right leg to go cross over like a rainbow over the other leg, tap to the other corner. It's super tempting to want to swing the back and swing the hip so that the spinal cord takes over. We don't want that. We want your hip perfectly still so that your hip takes over. And then it becomes that much harder. So we're going to get ready, tuck shoulders, tight abs, and flex the foot and drop the hip and keep it nice and still. Again, if there was a water cup here, we would want to see that the water is not moving, that it is not shaking, that it's nice and still, and that we're utilizing the strength of our abdominals to hold the hip nice and still and the spine nice and still. And then it is our hip socket strong enough to move the weight of our leg. And that's what we're after. You have 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And bring that leg down, shifting your weight to the right knee. Tuck those shoulders, flatten that back, straighten out the left leg, flex the foot. And now we're going corner to corner. Again, keeping back perfectly still with those tight abdominals. Tap and tap. Make sure that the spine stays still, shoulders are tucked in, and the hip stays nice and still. If there was that cup of water, that the water is not splashing around. And again, if we were watching from the view, the bird's eye view, we would not see the spine wiggling. You have 3, 2, 1. Okay, we're going to come to thread the needle, right arm to the left arm, palm to the ceiling, head on the floor, butt high in the air, and you can either put your hand flat on the floor or straighten it out, thumb to the ceiling. Either one is just fine. The idea is we're anchoring the hip and going into a nice little spinal twist here. Yeah, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice tight abs. We're going to come on up. We're going to get ready to go to the other side. Tucking the shoulders and coming down. Left arm through the right arm, palm to the ceiling. You can have your hand either forward, folded on the floor, or straight overhead, thumb to the ceiling. Either one is fine. You just want that butt in the air so you get that nice spinal twist going on. It's very gentle to the back. Okay, nice tight abs. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to get ready for the fire hydrant. We're tucking the shoulders, tight abdominals here. And then we're going to shift our weight to the right leg, keeping our foot nice and 90 degrees. We're going to bring both the heel and the knee away from us, the heel and the knee away from us. We're again trying to not lift the hip. So we're keeping the chest, the belly button, and the hip square to the floor. So that means you're not going to lift your leg very high. If you were watching a regular exercise video, you'll notice they try to get their legs nice and high, almost level to their torso. But the only way to do that is to twist the whole torso. Well, then that defeats the purpose of getting that muscle that's deep in that hip socket working, because then it disengages. So here we want that muscle to engage. So you got to keep that hip nice and still. You're going to barely go very far out there, but it's going to burn. And then one more right here. You get to come on down, and we're going to shift the weight to the left leg, tucking shoulders, tight abs, keeping the hip and belly button square, 90-degree knees, and then just lift and lower. Again, if you were looking at yourself, you would see your spine's perfectly still, your hips nice and safe and still, and just your leg is going out, using that butt muscle to lift you up. You're just not going to go very high, and that's okay. And yes, you will feel it on the other leg because it has to counterbalance the away movement from your torso. So it has to stabilize in the opposite direction. Last one right here, and come on down. We're going to go ahead and we're going to bring the left foot to the left hand here into a half runner's lunge. And we're not going to do a full runner's lunge. We're just going to do a half runner's lunge here today. If you want, you can bring your knees just a little bit more forward of it to stretch out that lower hip. Otherwise, if you're barely making it, that's fine. If this is too hard, you can always get a chair and hold you in a chair or a yoga block and then come down. But you do want to eventually get into this half runner's lunge. It's really good for your hips and your lower back to be in this position. And then we're going to bring that leg down. We're going to shift the weight to the left knee, tighten the abs, and then we're going to bring the right foot on the outside of the right hand. And again, this is good. I've had enough clients where I'm really convinced this helps the lower back, where this becomes that linchpin where their lower back pain went away. I've seen it several times. Not saying it's for sure because everyone has different back issues, but there's some things that are similar. I've seen people have really bad backs, and then once they're able to do this, like just almost coincides. They're like, how come my back doesn't hurt so much? You have 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, we're going to go ahead, come on down here, and we're going to turn onto our side here. How are we doing on time? Oh, you know what? We're almost out. Okay, so never mind. So we're almost out of time here. So we're going to go ahead and sit on our derriere. So we're going to sit on our butt, nice and crisscross. Okay. Okay, we're going to go ahead and we're going to put our hands onto the floor. And we're going to walk it out until you feel a nice stretch in your back, nothing painful. And the idea is you want to make sure that you have everything, all the body weight on to your hands here. You have 4, 3, 2, 1. Walk it on up. We're going to turn the chest to the right. You want both hands on the right, on the either side of the knee. And you really want to put the weight onto the floor. If you can't reach it, you'll need to get like a yoga block. But otherwise, you're just bringing it down onto the floor. Yeah, 3, 2, 1. Nice tight abs. And then you're going to turn your heart, lining up with the other knee, and then bringing your hands on both sides. Again, you really need to put the weight onto the floor. If you're just dangling, you're straining. If you put the weight on the floor, you're making this nice stretch on the opposite side of the back there. It's the opposite flank on your back. And the idea is just to learn to stretch down more and more and be halfway on the floor of your arms and halfway with your hip. And what it does is it creates this nice little flow, like a suspension bridge, and it just allows the back to stretch. The second you take the weight off the floor, it's too much tension on the back because the body has to hold you up, and it's a strain. So there's a difference between a strain and a stretch. Nice tight abs. We're going to come up to the center, roll your shoulders back, roll your shoulders back, and we are done. You made it onto a floor exercise. Nice job.